Would you mind telling me about the incident?
Yeah, so I met a girl on Tinder and we kind of talked a bit on and off for like a few weeks and stuff. And one day we decided we were gonna go to the bar and get dinner or something. And she told me she was gonna come over beforehand. She had a lecture and then we'd go after the lecture. So she came over and it was kind of, I don't know, that was obviously the first time I'd met her in person and she was a bit strange and she was just a bit like eccentric and kind of not how I was expecting. And she kind of like started making some really weird comments and like swearing at me and like calling me a bitch and then calling me a whore and just saying some really random things. And then I kind of just decided that like, you know, I didn't want to go to the bar with her after. So I just said to her, you know, I think I'll do some work tonight and maybe we can go another time. And she started getting really annoyed and then she just picked up a book from my desk and she threw it at me. And then what's it called? So obviously, you know, I told her, you know, we need to go, and I'd walk her down to the lecture theatre, and then go, obviously, wherever I was going to go. And then she got up and then she punched me in my boob, and then she just kind of stopped walking, and then she started texting me while she was kind of just still in my room, and she started saying things like, you know, next time I'm going to punch you in the vagina as well, and you know that's what you get, kind of thing, for cancelling plans on me. And then she got up and then she grabbed my neck, and yeah, and I didn't retaliate or anything. I didn't want to like make the situation worse, so I just kind of left it at that, and you know, obviously, just escorted her out basically of my flat.
Were you aware of any safe places on campus to like go visit at the time?
No, actually I wasn't.
How did you report it?
So the day before, we'd got an email about reporting sexual assault through like a forum, like a form thing. So I remembered that email, so I went back onto it and I just filled it out with all my details and stuff. And then the next day, someone rang me. When they rang me, the next day, she obviously she asked me again what happened, and we talked about it, and she told me that they could help me if I wanted to go to the police, and they would help me contact them and so on. She told me that about counselling that the uni could offer, and just generally kind of reassuring me about what happened and kind of being safe on campus and things. So she arranged for an RA to come and speak to me. So the day after she called me, an RA came to my flat and we talked about what happened, and he took down details of everything and kind of anything that I was sort of unsure about, like you know, I was kind of just a bit worried about seeing her again around campus, and he just sort of reassured me the fact that if I did ever see her again, there's always security around, and that, you know, nothing bad's going to happen to me whilst I'm on campus, kind of thing. And the fact that you know, because I go out to Sub-Zero, well I used to back then, I used to go out to Sub-Zero quite a lot, and I was just kind of worried that maybe if I saw her on a night out and stuff, I didn't want any sort of confrontation or like kind of to see her again. But he kept saying, you know, the fact that there is security everywhere, and if I was to see her again, there would always be someone to help.
Would you say you were satisfied with their reactions and the way they handled your case?
Yeah, I was really like happy with the way they dealt with it, and I like the fact that they rang me and they followed up. I think I was just a bit confused because obviously after having reported it and stuff, like I didn't ask, but maybe I should have. But the fact that like I didn't know where it was going to go after that, if that makes sense, like what they were going to do with the information, whether they were just going to log it and just kind of take note of it, or if they were actually going to act upon it and, you know, find out who she is, and then like, you know, if she would have any consequences or anything. I think the thing is, it was like, from my perspective, I just wanted to be safe on campus, but then in hindsight, it's kind of that thing of, well, if she could do something like that to me, what has she done to other people? So that I think from that perspective of making sure other people are safe, maybe, yeah, it would have been important.
Would you say overall you think the university is successful, or as successful as they can be, at handling sexual assaults and harassment on campus?
I can only really speak from my own experience, and I would just assume that they would treat every case like mine, and I was happy with it. And yeah, everyone should, you know, be made to feel like what they're saying is, you know, valid, if that makes sense, and their concerns are valid.